One of my favorite decks of all time is Wongoing. Wongoing is essentially an ongoing deck based around Wong. So Wong has an ongoing effect. Your on-reveal abilities at this location happen twice. You play that with only one on-reveal ability for the most part, and you use Spectrum. So your ongoing cards get +2 power. You do that twice, and you give your entire board a +4 buff. It's a really fun archetype that you can play in so many different ways. So I wanted to revisit the archetype today because I pulled a card called Omega Red. So Omega Red is very interesting. He has an ongoing effect of if you're ahead by 10 power at this location, you get +4 power at the other locations. This is a really wild effect that can really swing the entire board. So he's a little underrated, I think. I think he's really a fun card, and I haven't seen him used a whole lot, so I'm pretty excited about him in general. So this deck really just utilizes him into a few different things. So your one win scenario is just do a simple Wong going plan, which is you play Wong on 4. You have a bunch of other ongoing cards out already. You play Spectrum, you get a huge board buff, you win the game. Other option is hitting a really nice curve of Omega Red, Iron Man, and Onslaught. So you hit Omega Red, then you hit Iron Man to double the power of the location he's on, and then you hit Onslaught to double all of your other ongoing effects at that location. So what that does is really helps you guarantee a win by 10 plus at that location, because you're essentially going to be 10 power or 5 power doubled and then doubled again because of Onslaught on top of Iron Man. So it doesn't anymore make it insane power. It used to be an exponential increase, so it would go like to the second power, essentially get massive numbers. But now it just doubles it again, so it'll double the double. So Iron Man will really make him go ×4, so you have Onslaught ×4, and then you'll have Omega Red ×4. It'll be a ton of power. You can hopefully win that location by 10, and when you do, Omega Red's ongoing also gets doubled, so you'll get +8 at other locations. Such a fun combo to be able to do that, commit to one location like that, and then boost up your other locations. And then really you just need a few power at one of the other locations and try to sneak a win out at one of those. But again, we have the other Spectrum play if we need to, and also just playing Spectrum later in the game instead of Onslaught on top of like Iron Man and Omega Red really helps you boost those two up with good power, which can also lead to a win by 10 more at 10 or more at the Omega Red location. So there's a couple options with our 6 drops. I'm filling in the early curve with just Ant-Man as my only 1 drop. You can play Quinjet or Ebony Maul if you want as well. They're both ongoing cards. I use Invisible Woman to hide some of the things I'm doing. You can hide Omega Red underneath. You can hide things to keep them away from Enchantress or Rogue from turning off your abilities, which is fun. And also hiding Mojo is really nice. He has a really strong ongoing ability, but it's just very predictable. You know, your opponent can just not fill the location, so he doesn't get his additional +6 power. I'm using Armor. I'm using Colossus. I'm using Captain America. And then I'm using Cosmo to help turn off a few of the really powerful on-reveal effects that could hurt this deck in particular. Like, you know, Shang-Chi can hurt if I get too much power on one of my cards, but definitely Rogue can hurt, Enchantress can hurt, etc. All those cards can really hurt this deck a lot, so you got to be careful of those. You have plenty of options, though. If you do play this deck, like I said, as your 1-drops, if you want to add more, you can add Ebony Maul and Quinjet. For 2 drops, you could easily add Lizard as another solid options. For 3 drops, you could go to Punisher, or you could go to Mr. Fantastic. 4 drops, you could add Namor. 5, you could add Claw, and the list goes on. There's a lot of options when you play like an ongoing base deck like this, and it's why it's one of my favorite archetypes and why I have a few videos on the channel based around it. But this one's really trying to go a little bit more all in on Omega Red. So Omega Red plus Iron Man plus Onslaught is the curve that we want, and it makes for just an insane win on one lane, and hopefully I can show that to you today in this video. So I'm going to jump into some gameplay as always. Let's get right to it. Alright, so we got Ant-Man, Spectrum, Mojo, and Iron Man. So that's not too bad. I like Mojo in Mojo World. It makes total sense because whoever has more cards there gets extra power. So Mojo is, if they're going to try to fight for that location, you'll normally get the Mojo buff. He has the Infinite in hand. Got that from the Daily Bugle, so wondering if he's playing a control deck or maybe he's playing a discard-based deck. We'll have to see. Let's see what he does. Say we played Mojo on the left. Feels good for now. I'm going to go ahead and play Cosmo on the right on turn 3. Not sure it'll be a good prediction or not, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it turns off that discard, so that's good. But I do end up getting this rock on my side, which is slightly annoying. I think I'll go with Armor on the right side here. So I do need to win this left side location. And he's probably going to fill it up. So I do need to fill it up myself. So I'm probably going to have to play Iron Man there. Shang-Chi is down already, so don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go with Iron Man on the left side. Hopefully this location gets filled up. So Mojo gets his little +6 power, which will be nice. Hellcow discards Dracula plus Ghost Rider, which is not the best cards to discard there. So I'm going to go ahead and put Spectrum on top of this. I could just put Onslaught on top of that. That'll help me really win that location, but I do want to buff this right side location a little bit as well, so I'm going to go ahead for Spectrum here. And we get the retreat, so yeah, like he just kind of, we predicted Lady Sif decently with Cosmo. I mean, that was pretty lucky, and then he didn't discard the best cards or get the best Jubilee pull, so mostly just he kind of missed, and our deck still hit a solid curve. It's one of the good things, the deck just hits really good curves regardless of really what you play. It's still a strong curve, even when we're missing Omega Red and Wong. This is still a solid curve to get a lot of power out. This left side location would have been pretty massive, with the +3 to Ant-Man, the +6 to Mojo if he contests it, which if he doesn't, then I get a +100 power anyway. And then Spectrum gives them all +2, we double it. Felt pretty solid, but let's try to get the combo the deck's based off in the next game. We got Captain America Mojo and Omega Red. Not a terrible starting hand. Drew into Colossus. You might play him instead of Mojo. Just playing Mojo as your first 2-drop's not ideal. You don't want to kind of show your entire play right away. So if you have a different 2-drop, I'd suggest playing that one first most of the time. Sokovia discards Captain America, which was hit by Iceman anyway, so not the worst card to be discarded there. We'll take it. We got Colossus. We're playing him in the middle. He's missing his 2-drop, which isn't bad. But we got Nidavellir on the right side. So we're going to shift our focus to Nidavellir. The +5 power is really big for doubling it with Iron Man, so this is a great location to play Omega Red at. So I'm going to commit these 4 cards to that location. And he's going to win that location. At least he's going to look like he's going to win that location early, but we're going to, if he doesn't play another thing on top of it, we could sneak a win in there with Omega Red. Oh, and we got Spectrum, so that feels pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and play Omega Red, then Iron Man, and then we're going to play Spectrum in the middle, so hopefully boost us up where we need to be. So Omega Red hits that, but oh, Mojo gets pulled over to the left side location. So he's only 2 power, but if you do the math, I think we'll be okay. We could actually sneak a win over there as well. So we're going to play Iron Man here in the right. Spectrum's going to boost everything on the last turn, including Mojo by 2. He'll be at 4 power. And then if I win this by 10, I will boost that location by 4. So I'll actually win the left side by 1 still when I play Spectrum. So that'll be pretty cool if I can get that off. Let's see. It looks like he's playing a what I thought was going to be Silver Surfer deck, because he's got 3 3-drops, but he's got Iceman in that. So we do have Onslaught. I think that's actually even a better play. So we're just going to go with Onslaught. That'll put, we should win this location. We're going to double Iron Man's ability. And then instead of just giving +2 to the left in middle, we're going to give it +4 like we thought we were, but +8 because we're going to double the effect of Omega Red. So Spectrum would have been just as good, but we're going to go with Onslaught and really try to get a ton of power out here. And I think we do it. And there it is. Got +8 power everywhere, and we get the win. Well, that felt like a pretty good example of how the deck is supposed to go. Barely won the middle by only 3 here. Couldn't win the left because Silver Surfer gave a big buff, but we dominated the right location. Kind of going all in is what we want to do, and we got Omega Red and Onslaught to get the +8. So that's the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription to the channel, and keep on snapping.